Well, top 10 funniest moments of the week. Tom Sandoval blocked me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, literally couldn't be funnier. I have nothing to do with any of this shit besides the fact that I'm on the podcast with Billie and that we're, like, best friends. But it's, like, how many times I talked to Tom? 5?
He blocked my assistant. He's met her, like, twice.
It's literally hilarious. I saw that he blocked Amanda because she posted about it. And that's when I checked. And I was like, I didn't even follow him. I think it's literally
Isn't he
hilarious.
not supposed to have access to social media? So who's blocking you?
Yeah, he didn't block you, though.
He didn't. He still follows me.
Which is funny because the whole entire time you came on here and talked shit about him and made fun of his penis or whatever, like, he was like, take that down. I can't believe you're friends with her. But, like, he's still following you. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, we were still hanging out till December. Like, you know, he was trying to meet my mom.
In December?
Yes.
When did he start dating Victoria?
November?
Our sweet angel Victoria.
Oh.
I think November, right?
I mean, he was calling me in Thailand. He was calling me in Asia, being like, oh, we're here. Look at this. Look at my hotel, you know.
Yeah, he definitely has already cheated on Victoria several times. I hate to break it to her, but, like,
Obviously.
I hope she's not really trusting him because that's hysterical. Where do we start with this? Oh, my God. It's like, we got some printouts right here. Cool.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay,
Yes.
paper. I love paper.
We have so many allegations, so we had to get things printed and be organized because obviously that live they did was a hot fucking mess.
I feel like we're in court right now.
I know.
We're literally
I
like,
know.
let's go over the allegations.
Yeah.
Like, but I can't get like that. By the way, I was on set filming my first movie. While this live was happening, I was chiming in, being like, that's a lie. That's a lie. And then when I saw how she was like slurring her words, I was like, and I saw just like the hot mess that it is. And then I was seeing all the comments where they're like, Team Billie, like, what is she on? What is going on? I was like, they're literally doing me a favor. Like, that is what everyone's DMing me. That's what everyone's messaging me. I can't believe they literally went on there and was like, so let's start with a live if we can. We have tea here. I brought my special guest, one of my besties in here because she has been with me throughout the entire time we filmed. Before that, I introduced her to Tom. And also I hike with her weekly. So she knows when I was going through this drama with them in real life, she was there to hear it.
Yes, I heard these things like day after Billie would call me. But even before Vanderpump, Billie and I had no clue she was on this show. We did not know. I was just girlfriends with her, you know.
We met in acting class.
Yep.
I never
Yep,
talked
I
about
had
reality.
700 followers. We were chilling, we were hiking, like seriously from like bottom up, like truly.
That's what happened with us. I didn't fucking know Vanderpump. Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
I've unfortunately learned it through being best friends with her. But like,
Yes.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I went from literally Tom's house to your house
Yeah,
almost every day.
those are your stops.
And you know how I would literally show up at your house like a hot mess crying because of the drama that I had to experience with them.
And you experienced all that and still showed up day after day to be a good friend. So
Literally.
let that go.
Still showed
Yes,
up.
I don't think people understand how much Billie was doing. Dry cleaning, like damage control, cleaning the house.
Damage control.
We used to, oh my gosh, those floors, I've never seen anything worse. Like clean, it was just everything. It was truly everything.
The thing is, like, when Ariana left, there was a period where the dog was, when the affair first happened, the dog was still there and the cat. And so I was dog sitting a lot, as I do. You guys know.
Maya.
Yeah.
Maya. You guys know I dog sit a
Yeah.
lot of for a lot of
Love that
friends.
dog. You love that dog.
And there was Maya peed and pooped a lot on the rugs. So it was just like the
Those
smell was
rugs.
really bad. Kitty liked to pee everywhere. Like it was just a really bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent a lot of time getting all of those rugs up, getting
Yep.
them moved out, getting the place cleaned because I would joke, but like my mom, when she was young, like when we were young and they were struggling parents, like I grew up in a trailer at my very young age and our trailer was cleaner than that house. And I was like, Tom, we gotta do something. I also just want to back up a little bit because I've seen so many comments. Like when Tom and Ariana, when the affair happened, I spent most of my time in Indiana. I was like madly in love with one of my old best friends back at home. So I wasn't really here involved in Vanderpump or the affair or anything like that. And then when I was here and the affair happened, I was at Tom Tom when the whole fight happened and Ariana found out. I went to Tom and Ariana's house. It felt like a death in the family. I cried. I was there for Ariana for like 6 weeks after the Tom incident after she found out. I was fully there for her. I was so pissed at Tom. Even though he was like a brother to me, like family, I was still really upset. And then one of our friends, Jason and Kimmy, who I love and adore, who I introduced them to Tom, was like, Tom is not doing well. Like, he really needs a friend. Like, we're really worried about him. And that's when I stepped in. And at the same time, I was still dog sitting and helping. So I texted Ariana and I said, hey, girl, I'm going to your house. I'm also going to be dog sitting. I'm like, I just want to give you the heads up. And she said, okay, I love you, but I hate him. Mm-hmm. Because of the paparazzi seeing us out and me there the whole weekend, she unfollowed me, blocked me. That's when I lost all my friends, including her. So I wasn't like I just randomly picked a side and was like, I'm going to go with Tom. Like, I was really there as much as I could for Ariana. And I understand she had to build and create a boundary, which was like, anyone who is friends with Tom is not friends with me. Yeah. I get that. It still really hurt me. Obviously, if I was friends with her, I wouldn't talk about Tom. I wouldn't discuss that. I would just be there for her. But I get it. Like, that's her journey. However, apparently she is still friends with Kyle, who knew the whole time, I guess. So we're going to go to the live.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah. The live, I want to just start off with Kyle. He goes on to tell me Bille's a good person. You know, he says these positive things about me, but then immediately follows with like these really negative things. I'm going to start with just negative things about Kyle because I don't think positive of him. I've always thought he was fake. Right. His entire business is to put his jewelry on famous people.
Right.
His job is to be friends with all these famous people. And when he said this story, like when I first met Bille, she was like, oh, do you want to put your jewelry on me? Do you like trans people? First of all, I don't know if I was intoxicated or not. I don't fully remember the conversation, but I do know my intention was, I'm going to be on this show. There's going to be press on me. If you want me to wear your stuff as a loan, not even as like a gift, I'm open to that, you know, like that. I think that was the initial conversation. It wasn't like, hey, I'm trans, you need to gift me all this jewelry. Like, what the fuck? Like, who would say that? Like, I definitely
the job
wouldn't.
of influencers is to be like, do you want me to wear your clothes on this TV show?
Yeah. First of all, my first
Yes.
2 seasons, people threw stuff at me to wear on the show. So like, I literally was just like, oh, this is Tom's friend. Like, that was the start of that. And I realized also he wasn't as kind to me until he realized like, oh, she is on the show and she is doing something with her life. Because again, as a jeweler, and especially him, he has to attach himself to famous people and he has to play the middle ground, which is why he didn't like pick sides when it came to Tom and Ariana. Mm-hmm. Also, the trans card. Like, when did I ever say anything about being trans?
You weren't on the live and people were like, Bille said the trans card. I'm like, she's not even on the live.
I didn't say that like our friendship broke up because I was trans. I didn't like Victoria because I was trans. I used the trans card one time in 2018, I believe, when I was on this season. It was girls' night in. I was triggered by that. Yes, that one time I pulled the trans card, that one time I was triggered. I later found out it wasn't even Katie that created the list. It was production. That's reality TV for you. And so I'm just like, where are you getting this trans card? And for you to be an LGBTQ person and sit there and say that I'm pulling the trans card, fuck you, Kyle.
It's unfair.
It's so unfair. It's so awful. And like, shame on you. Like, I'm sorry, but you lose all the cards in the LGBTQ community because that right there was disgusting, like from the start. And then he's going to say, and I could sue her. Let's go into the allegation.
Yes.
Sue me.
We're back in court.
Yeah. Sue me. And I'm going to just start with allegedly. Yeah, this is the theme. Allegedly, I created this lie about Kyle and told people when I didn't. There's no proof that I said anything. And then I never would go on live. Even if I were like to think of some crazy shit like that, I would not go on live and talk about it in a public way. However, he did. Like, I'm confused how you can make up something
and then sue that person. You can make up a lie and then sue that person? Yeah. That is not how that works.
Exactly.
No, that is not how that works.
No.
Like,
so let's just, and I know you know this, but let's just talk about how this lie came about. there was a situation where Victoria found a text message or she saw a text message from Kyle, and Kyle was like, oh, is she having one of her tantrums or a manic episode again? It was something, I don't know word for word. So we were downstairs in the kitchen. This is what she was talking about in the kitchen. And by the way, she knew there was no cameras working because I begged for cameras to be working.
We all knew.
I literally house sit there all the time. Strangers would come up to the door because there's no gate code. And I said, you guys, you know me, stranger danger. I watch one true crime show and I think someone's murdering me. I was like, please get the cameras working. All you need is a hard drive. Tom never did it. I kept begging. When Victoria came into the picture, I even told her, I said, can you convince him to do it? My car got broken into. Still no cameras. Mm-hmm. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So she bought these 2 cameras that are like Nest cameras, like one for the front door and one for the back door. They literally set in the box on the counter, on the bar, or on the table in the kitchen the entire time. Probably while we were having this exact conversation.
Also the red light blinking, like, girl, there is no red light. There has never been a red light. Like, I even asked, oh, do these work? He's like, I don't know the passcode for something. I don't know the login. Like, there has never been a time where these cameras worked.
Okay, so here's the thing about the cameras. And this is obviously going to force them to get the hard drive immediately because I want them to be safe. I'm not doing this to ever put any harm or physical harm on anyone. I want this house to be protected, and that's how I've always felt. Yes. However, the cameras do work, as in they do pick up the image. It goes to the master TV, but there are no hard drive to record anything. Which is like, if you get a Nest camera, that goes to the internet and then it goes to your phone and you can save those videos. So if she really wanted to catch me in a lie, wouldn't you think she would open those cameras and put them somewhere? Like, that blew me away right there. And so when she found the text, she said, Billie, I need to talk to you about something. This was in the kitchen. She's like, I think Kyle's fake. And I think he's in love with Tom. And I said, well, funny you should say that because T told me the exact same thing. She thought Kyle was fake and that he was in love with Tom. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, have they ever messed around? And I said, no. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, one time when they first met, they got fucked up on drugs like we normally do. Maybe he was at a festival. I don't know. And he hit on Tom. That's all I said. He got fucked up on drugs and he hit on Tom. And this,
everyone flirts when they're on drugs at a festival. That cancels out.
Exactly.
Literally.
And Tom's clearly not offended by it because he hangs out with him.
He's
best friends with him.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Tom loves when people hit on him.
It's also funny to hear someone be like, made these allegations and saying that they're fake. That's what they're saying about you, that you're in love with him and you're the fake one. It's like, it's flipping. It's the exact same.
When I watched this, I was like, they literally took everything and flipped it, which is crazy. But also, I've heard that come out of Tom's mouth as well. Like, literally, I would not lie about this. Tom, after they came back from Vegas, Kyle and him went to Vegas. I'm not sure if this was for BravoCon or what, but he was like, yeah, when he takes Ambien at night, he doesn't remember, and he gets a little, zesty, gets a little flirty, which is fine. Like, yes, when you're on Ambien, you don't remember. If you don't hit the pillow quickly, you do not know what is going on.
Never let Kyle loose on Ambien in Vegas, dude.
Yeah, it's just like you're fighting the drug, that's why.
Yeah.
So, like, I've heard him say that too. It wasn't like, it creeped me out. It wasn't like that. It was just like, yeah, I think it's funny. Like,
yeah, and like, Kyle has like a million pretty boys that look somewhat straight or act straight around him. Like, that's very obvious to me. I mean, if you literally could just hang out with him one time and you would get that. But yes, he told you this.
Right, so Tom is a bad friend. He's saying these things behind Kyle's back. Kyle has no clue. I would not lie about this. Kyle just has no clue that Tom is shady.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle's being a great friend right now, backing him up with his girlfriend, who obviously could not have done the live alone because she can't speak.
Yeah.
But so Kyle's being there, and I just feel bad for Kyle because he's being such a good friend to Tom, does not know Tom is saying these things to his friends behind his back.
And you were best friends with Tom too until he started saying shit behind your back to Victoria. It's like,
yes,
that's just what he does. Maybe is that
even if you know that he does bad things in the public eye, the way that he treats these people in their personal relationships, like, you have a reason to trust him and be there for him, or else you wouldn't be. like by his side.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I think he definitely did some things where he pinned us against each other, Victoria and I, because I literally would hear him screaming on the phone and be like, "You're isolating me from my friends. Like, Billie, everyone's telling me you're isolating me." And then they said that I was isolating him. I'm like,
that's her putting
what?
that in his ear, and he's repeating it though, because that doesn't even seem like language he would use, dude. You know, that's like.
Isolation usually comes from a toxic partner. There's not really friends. Like, majority of the time, it's from a partner. You know, who wants all of his attention. From a friend, you've had him. When this whole situation came down, it was only you and him and Kyle. Like,
and when you came in the picture, what was my feelings?
You were so supportive. You were literally like, yeah, just know he's probably going to get his dick wet somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's a great person.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I was like, yes, he's generous. He has a nice heart. Not the brightest person. I've said this before. Yeah. We all know this. But, you know, you were very supportive. It was never, I was always like, Billie, come over because we just woke up. Like,
yes.
It was never like, I would always be like, come over, please.
Thank you. So I was so relieved when Tom would have a girlfriend or like even T, I was like, I'm not on duty. Yeah. Because Tom
we would always say that. We'd always be like, I'm like, you're on duty tonight, Billie, because I need to sleep.
We took shifts.
Earlier than 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning. I need to sleep. Billie, it's you.
Tom is a very codependent person. He's a very needy person.
Yes.
He would literally like ask me to come over all the time. It was him texting me being like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I would be like, what are you doing? I'm going to stop by. Most of the time he was sleeping. I would stop by during the day and like do laundry or whatever, or, like pick up the house or something. Like, I was very housewife in a way, but like strictly no, I was not fucking him. So
but no
I just want
one
to put that out there.
taking care of the house, and there's an animal there. It's like, of course, it's a big, nice house, and like, you know.
Well, also I sublet my girlfriend Christine's apartment that was just down the street the entire time because I knew that he was having me there every day. I didn't want to drive a lot. A lot of times I would just end up staying over there. So I made sure that I had all my stuff somewhere close by. But I was so relieved when he did have a friend or a girlfriend because I wasn't with him 24/7 and I have my own life. I have guys that I'm hanging out with, like things that I'm doing on my own. And then let's get into, and even like, I will say this, like when Victoria was like, oh, your friend Billie is here a lot. And he's like, yeah, I love having her around. And it's like,
you took care of things for him and you supported him when no one else did. Like, of course.
Literally no one else.
No one else in the world supported him. He was the number one, what's the New York Times article? What's it called?
Number one hated.
The number one most hated man in America. And Bille Lee was by his side during that. You had no reason to be unless you were an actually good friend.
Oh, I went through.
Around if you want to fuck. Like, you know, no, you're being a fucking good person and a good friend.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be.
And there was times where he like would speak upon his family and be like, hey, I need you to do this for me and you do that. And I showed up in a way like I was literally his family.
True. So the fact that this is happening, honestly, shows a lot about his character. Even though, he might be a nice person, I don't believe that anymore because this is honestly crazy that he would do this to Billie. Like, I've seen it. Everyone sees how much Billie did. And now I take back everything that I've said about, oh, he has a kind heart. He's a nice person. Nice people don't do this. They remember who helped them when they were down. Nice people don't do this. Like, I'm beyond down. I'm over like the
negative, below rock bottom.
Ridiculous.
And Billie is still there.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because I swear to you, my heart's broken right now.
And friend breakups are so difficult, especially you guys were. I can't even.
It's also crazy. Like, you made it through. It's crazy that the falling out is happening now because like you made it through the hardest time. Like, you were there in the hardest time of his entire life. Like, America hated him. All of America hated him. He was like the most hated man in pop culture. And Billie, through that, knowing the repercussions of what it came with, was still his friend and by his side. So it's crazy that when she was the support system in that period of time, that now this happened. It's like, do you not remember the last 6 months, you fucking idiot, of what she just did for you?
I hope he rethinks all the things truly after like hearing this and seeing the podcast. I hope he rethinks it and is like, shit, I fucked up because this is not right. This is not okay.
He won't see it because we're all blocked.
I'm not blocked.
I'm blocked.
Yeah, you're not.
Until after this.
Me being blocked is the funniest part of the entire thing. Yeah. Like, what did I do, dude?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things too for me is like, I try not to have regret, but like losing Ariana and losing friends, like
your family.
Yeah, that really hurts.
It's okay. You have
all
the
the time.
Weisers.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate that. I want to move into the intervention, and this is where I have my first receipt.
Someone who has
that's
receipts?
our new segment.
Someone who has
proof?
a receipt. Yeah.
This is like a new segment. Receipts.
Receipts.
Yes, receipts.
Welcome to receipts.
Wow.
It really blew my mind how they like had this whole lead up to a receipt. That
Should we tell them? Okay. Yeah, we weren't gonna say this, but and the cameras weren't on. No. There's no proof. No. Should we tell them? No, there's no proof.
Okay, T just summed up the entire hour and a half live with literally that sentence. Wait, I wrote this down and I sent it to Billie. What was it? Oh, okay. Kyle Chan and Victoria were like, we were gonna keep quiet. We didn't want to say anything. Bitch, you're the one that made the first comment online that made Billie speak up in the first place. Billie, as someone who is there for her every day,
Right.
she was fucking quiet for the last 6 to 8 weeks about it because she was like, I don't even want to give the satisfaction of talking about it, and I don't want to hurt anyone who's already struggling, obviously, like they're unwell mentally. And literally they're like, we were gonna keep quiet. You're the one that made the first comment online that brought it to light. So like shut up about keeping quiet, and like you're the one that made the fake receipt in the first place.
Yeah, these are months and months of stories. Like, I heard these live time. This isn't like Billie woke up one day and was like, I've got 30 stories to tell. Like no, this is like months long. Yes, this is months of it. I think
like
that's so funny.
I do need this. I'm so emotional, guys.
Billie's like going like this. I'm like, she actually needs this. The one time the stress toy's been useful on the entire podcast.
Good, because we have receipts, so let's go.
Wait, can you throw me one, T?
Yeah.
Stress toy?
Yes, I'm a bad thrower.
Oh, you did great.
A+.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have an ugly cry after this because I have it's like boiling right here.
Well, Kyle called you pretty about 4,000 times after he said you were like evil, so don't worry, you look pretty when you cry. He's like, she's evil, but she's fucking gorgeous. I'm like, okay, that's a brand. Wow. That's a brand.
I didn't catch the end of the live because I had to film, and like to put those feelings aside to film my character. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so intervention.
Yes.
Whenever. And there's just certain people I do not want to bring into this because I love them and like they're like the most kind people in the world and they have nothing to do with Victoria's craziness or Kyle and Tom. But Jason works for Tom with his band. I introduced them because they both love music. They both wanted to start a band. Like Jason is one of the most kind, sweetest souls. He's married to Kimmy, who's one of my close friends. They just started a family. Kimmy's on her second baby. And Jason works really hard. Like a lot of people around Tom work really hard for him. And sometimes I don't think I will tell him, I'm like, hey, you need to have gratitude because people are kicking their ass around you, And like when Tom didn't have money, a lot of people were hitting up Jason and hitting up. And then Jason and I talked about this. Like people were like, yo, the band owes me this. Tom owes me this. Tom owes me that. Like money was burning. It was a scary time financially for Tom because, all of these, he didn't have so many endorsements. They just all stopped because of this scandal. And so eventually his account ran dry. And so we were really worried and he finally started getting a couple meetings, but he wasn't showing up to those meetings. And for someone like Jason who works so hard to get him meetings and to really like help him make money, which also pays the bills and pays people that work for him around him. So that was one concern. And I do also have a screenshot of me. I'm at my own meeting at Soho House in West Hollywood, and I'm literally texting Victoria and him like, hey, you have a meeting in 10 minutes. Like someone needs to wake him up. We can't get a hold of him.
This was on your birthday.
This is on my birthday.
I was at breakfast with you.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was you. Yes.
There. Girl, I was there and you were calling to wake him up. I was just sitting there and I was like, girl, on your birthday brunch, they're like bringing us like free pancakes. And she's like, yeah, hold on.
Yeah. But like I would be in the middle of my own work stuff too, and it would literally be like,
you have a life.
Everybody would be like, we can't find the key to the house. Billie, come here. We can't. Like everything went through me for some fucking reason. Yeah. So I was constantly bombarded, and that's why like I worked really hard hiring him an assistant and trained the assistant for 2 weeks because it relieved. Just like when he has a girlfriend, when he has an assistant, I have a break.
They take the shift.
Yes.
Right.
So, and by the way, I'm like the one that, it's not on the payroll. Just letting you know. Right. So this intervention, we're going to go with that. Then Josh, and I don't want to bring him into this either because Josh is like one of the sweetest souls in the world. Like he's just such an amazing person. It's Tom's cousin, and he is off and on his assistant sometimes. I never like to mix family being your assistant. Yeah. I disagree with that. And also I don't like how Tom doesn't appreciate Josh. And I noticed that like you're easily to like dismiss him or just like not be the best boss because it's less professional. So I just didn't like that. But Josh would be like, Billie, I constantly have to cancel meetings for him. It's all the time. And so I said, okay, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to be a bit dramatic because that's how Tom, he's from reality TV. How many years has he done? Right. We got to get together and like really sit down with him, and because it's been bad. So this is my first receipt. Josh started a group chat with Jason, Kyle, Josh, and I. So you will see that it wasn't just me going around telling everyone and creating this whole thing. Josh literally sent out the first text, and let me read what the first text is really fast. So this was the group chat that he started. It says, hey guys, it's Josh. We've all been discussing how best to help Tom get on the right path. So what is everyone's availability tomorrow around lunchtime so all four of us can meet with Tom to discuss this situation? So we'll obviously post these screenshots. It just is like going back and forth with Kyle and us. The thing is with Kyle is like, Kyle is one of Tom's best friends, but Kyle's never at the house. Like maybe once a month. I was at that house every single day. Like Kyle's the friend you go out in West Hollywood with and have drinks with, or go to Vegas with, or go do drugs with. Like Kyle's that kind of friend. And he's one of Tom's best friends, but I'm the best friend that sees like when Tom first wakes up, when Tom's going to bed, what's really going on at this house. Right.
Like friends,
it's the after hours. Yeah. The after hours.
And so I wanted to include Kyle in this, even though he wasn't around to witness as much that was going on with Tom in the house and canceling meetings and stuff like that. But I knew he was important to Tom, and I knew that whatever we could do to help Tom. So I did call him and I said, hey, what's your experience with Tom lately? And he's like, honestly, I don't talk to Tom that much since he started dating Victoria. He doesn't answer my calls. And I said, well, this is what's been going on. So that's how I included him. He knew from the start. There was no me scheming something in him. Like he knew, he was worried. He literally, you will see on these screenshots, he was all about being part of this. And then didn't he call you?
Yeah, so this was like, intervention was supposed to be the 19th or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. He called me on the 25th and he told me, Tom is in a very dark place. We still miss you being around. He's like, his relationship is a wreck. He's in a very bad place. We're worried about him. But I just want to reach out and tell you that, like, we still love you. We still care about you. You can still come to events that we plan.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because he did really like you. You guys connected like quickly.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. Like I thought he was very sweet. And he was there for Tom. But the fact that he called me, and I immediately called my mom. I was like, Kyle just called me that he's worried about Tom. Like, my mom was like, no shit. Like,
yeah. Right. And you'll see on the screenshots, it was Kyle's birthday. That's like when we try to do it. And I was like, this is brilliant because Tom will show up. Tom's really big for birthdays. I'm like, Tom will show up for Kyle.
That's how we capture him, a children's birthday cake. No, party hats.
That's one thing about Tom that I will say positive. He's like big on birthdays and he like loves buying gifts for people on birthdays. But I was like, this is a good way for him to show up because it was hard for us to get him outside the house and get him away from Victoria so we can have this conversation with him. Right. And he didn't show up. He literally was like, I'm sick. And that's when
But he was always sick.
Always sick.
Tom, everything was, I'm sick, blah, blah, blah.
Literally every single day he was sick. And the crazy thing is, before he started hanging out with Victoria and drinking, he was so healthy. Remember, like, because you don't drink sick either.
No.
He's allergic to Victoria.
No, yes, he's allergic. No, he was never sick. He would work out for 2 to 3, call me on FaceTime on the treadmill for like hours. I'm like, when are you getting off of the treadmill? Because this is excessive. We'd go out. Yeah, he was my sober buddy.
Yeah.
We would never drink. We would stay up and chill and eat pizza and never sick.
He was so
healthy.
happy. And just like because I remember Tom before the affair, like he always had anxiety. He always had like depression because he drank a lot. And I'm not saying he's an alcoholic, but like he would like, he likes his beer. He likes taking shots at night, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's an alcoholic. I will say when he did start drinking again with Victoria, it got dark. Like, I mean, it was like anxiety, depression, and then he was physically sick all the time.
Right. Yeah, we would go out to we go to the Magic Castle. We'd go to karaoke like religiously on Sunday and Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It was karaoke night. Like we
did karaoke 3 times a week with Tom Sandoval.
Yes,
That's
that was
the
our
most ridiculous
thing.
thing that's been said on this entire podcast.
No,
ever.
that was our thing. And we'd go home. I'd play the piano. We'd sing even more. And to sing, you have to be healthy. You have to have your body has to be together.
Also, he loves music. Like singing is probably something that made him happy.
Exactly.
I was so proud of him. I will say that was really worth it for me. Like a lot of the heartache and like the craziness that I went through losing my friends and family and like also being in the public eye, I got a lot of transphobic hate during that time just because people were like, how dare you like be Tom's friend. I will say seeing him like going from like being sober and really starting to enjoy life and being in a better place and not being with Raquel or Rachel, like literally just being in a good place, like that did make me feel good. Like I was like, okay, this is working. Like everything that we're doing to support him is working, even though it's no one's responsibility but his own. And I do want to just say, like with the intervention, like if I really thought allegedly that Kyle drugged him and sexually assaulted him, I wouldn't include him in the intervention.
Right.
Like I wouldn't. No. I just, it blows my mind. I still can't get over how they could make something up like that. Like that's what really hurt me with Kyle. Like, yeah, you can say the trans card, whatever you want to say, but like to make up some shit like that.
I've never heard that come out of your mouth too, and I would speak on it. Yes. I would be the first one. I'm not here because I'm Billy's friend. I'm not here because I would never lie for Billy, Kyle, no offense, Tom, anyone. And I've never heard that come out of your mouth. No. Ever. And I'd be the first person you'd be like, listen, I got the tea. I've never heard that statement.
Weekly hike gossip. That would have been the first thing you
heard.
Right. She would have called me immediately.
Yes. Yeah. And I do think like whenever Victoria was like, so Tom and Kyle were on speaker. And I remember this. My last text to her was like, because I remember when I walked in the house, I was like, it literally as if like I killed someone's dog. And I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. Like the vibe is so fucking weird. I literally remember you saying that exact sentence.
And I was like slowly getting my stuff out of there because I'm like, there is some shit going on. But of course, it was after. Mom. It was after the failed intervention and she found out about it. So she was like, fuck you. How dare you do an intervention without me? Like that really drew the line for her. And like, that's when she wouldn't even look me in the eye. She wouldn't talk to me. She's blaming that on the things that I supposedly said about Kyle.
Right.
It's not. It was her being upset about the not being included in the intervention. And when she was like, we caught you on speakerphone. I remember I was driving to this exact studio on a Monday. I was on the 10 freeway and literally she calls me. She's like, hey, I'm just still really upset with what you said about Kyle assaulting Tom. And I was like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I said that they did drugs together and he hit on him. Like, you must have got that twisted.
Twisting the words, yeah.
I literally called her out. So I know if I was really the one that said something like that, wouldn't they record it? If you have 2 people next to you on a speakerphone.
Right, and she's like, watch, I'm going to call Billy and we're going to catch her.
Why would you not?
The first thing you do is record.
Thank you.
Come on. I even record fights with my grandma because
you learned that in middle school. That's literally middle school 101. Yes. You record it if you're trying to trap someone.
If you're trying to trap someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then that means that Kyle, I guess, lied about it because if he heard that and he was actually on it.
I did.
For someone who doesn't lie, that's a pretty big lie.
Yeah. I debunked her lie.
Okay, and T, go on.
Just saying.
And if we're going to talk about recording, Victoria, Tom secretly records Victoria and his fights because he's afraid because she gets manic. He told me one time, he's like, okay, this happened on my birthday, by the way. Tom goes to dinner with us. Remember for my birthday?
Vegan bolognese.
This.
And I was like, where's Victoria? And he's like, I
remember she didn't come to dinner.
Yes. I swear every time, and it was my birthday. It's like, girl, just like, why do you have to argue and fight on my birthday?
Yep. Because he was giving you attention, Billie. The day was about you and you were getting the attention. It was away from her.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, he leaves and goes to meet her. Apparently she was really fucked up. She was manic. He said that she was so evil to him and abusive. And this was him on the treadmill the next day telling me this. I said,
it's always on the treadmill.
I said, Tom, you just survived a scandal. Like, this ship is already sinking. Like, would you really want someone to take it down? Like, you should not be dating someone who is physically fighting with you. All it takes is a 911 call and her being manic and making up some shit. And it's over, babe. It's over.
Right.
Like, it already was basically over.
Literally.
This was the final string.
And because like I can sense when someone's all about fame and like they're attaching themselves to someone like fame like her. I'm like, it would benefit her so much if she dialed 911 and was like, Tom Sandoval hit me. Like, boom. She's immediately in the public.
Again.
It would, yeah. And also, Tom said this was like, I got to be careful because look at Ariana's career. Like, any other girl can come in here and do the same thing. I'm like, you mean any other girl can come in here and be a victim? Ariana was a victim, which is why she deserves everything that she's getting. But this is what happened. And he was like, I got to start recording our fights to make sure if this goes down, I can defend myself.
Because he knows middle school 101. You record fights.
101. Right. Okay, now we know Tom Sandoval past 6th grade, dude. That's what we know. Good for him, man.
Go Tom. And the crazy thing, too, is that if you were such an isolator, why did Tom and I never fight? We fought one time because he went to go and pick another bitch up instead of drive me home at like 1 a.m. in the morning. When I lived like 2 miles away. I was like, can you drive me home? So I walked. I said, fuck you. And I walked home. And he went to go pick up another girl and then proceeded to drive her home in the morning.
Yeah.
That was a straw for me. But like.
And here's the thing is like, I will also show these. I'll show these screenshots. But like.
Receipts by Billie and the Kid.
Victoria, she would literally be like, hey, come over, or hey, I got you ice cream, or like she would love bomb me, and Tom would ask me to come over. Like, I was always, you would see the text message, I'm like, sorry, I passed out. Like, I don't want to go and hang out like all the time. I am glad he has a girlfriend. I'm glad he's doing his own thing. Like, and up until like it got really toxic, I was actually happy for him. I was like, do your thing, enjoy what you're doing.
You also liked her in the beginning. Like,
I did.
Yeah, she really did.
You were happy in the beginning because you were like, she's cool. She sent me flowers. She's a nice, pretty girl, and it gives you time off.
And then let's go into...
You're genuinely happy when he's with someone. Like, you were genuinely happy when he was with T. You know? Yeah. It's like you're genuinely happy.
Billie would tell me this too, and in my head, I was just like, oh, like, cool, awesome. But Billie would still proceed to tell me, like, it's okay. He's in a good place. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Awesome. Good for him. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But don't you think if Billie was an isolator, I would have fought with Tom the most because I was Billie's actual friend? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and
Isolator, why do you want to spend more alone time with him, dude? You got your fair share. No one else
really did.
You
really did.
You.
All of America hated him.
Like, she got overload of solo time. You don't want any more of that.
Right.
And I was codependent with him, too.
Oh, my God. Those are large paragraphs, Billie.
I know. So this
Just
girl...
so everyone knows what Billie's scrolling through, large paragraphs. That's
I can't
wild.
mention her name, and I'll show these screenshots as well.
Give a code name.
I want to, let's say Abby.
Abby.
Code name is Abby.
Abby.
I don't want, but she is, I guess, who introduced Victoria to Tom.
Fucking Abby.
And she literally was like, I guess they like, she's like, hold on, let me see. I don't even know where to start, but basically, long story short, I was hooking up with Tom for like a month and we got really close, actually, or I thought, laugh out loud. I knew too much about him to want to date him, but I thought he was going to be one of my good friends because we got along really well. Then he introduced me to Victoria at his place when he had people over one night. She and I got along really well, and she started my friendship love bombing me. And this is what I want to say, is Victoria's pattern is to love bomb. Buy me gifts, buy me flowers. And like what blew me away was like, I was like, wow, this girl's FaceTime me all the time. Like, she really like wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
And then the second I'm alone with Tom, she calls him over and over and over. And she said on the live, she goes, I don't think that Tom would ever want to hook up with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she goes, it was a misunderstanding. He said that something about her sleeping in the bed, and then he got another call. Bitch, he didn't get another call. You were calling 15 times in a row, and then he went upstairs and got in a fight.
I know. She was the other call.
On her other phone.
Yeah, she was the other call.
It was at night. And like he literally went upstairs and got into a fight with her. A half hour later, I'm already done with my food. The movie's basically over. And he's like, yeah, she thinks we're gonna be sleeping together tonight. And I'm like, wow, that made me feel so uncomfortable. I immediately left because the movie was basically almost over. And I'm like, I don't want to feel like someone's love bombing me, but then accusing me of something.
Right.
It was just the weirdest fucking feeling.
Once the food in the movie's over, there's no purpose of the hang. You know?
Right. Bye.
That's the reason for the literally bye. That's
and
the
I ate
purpose
alone and watched the movie alone.
That's the purpose of the hang.
Thank you
like,
for
Bille
that.
once the food is gone and the movie's done, it's like she doesn't fucking care.
She's like going to bed.
Yeah, Bille doesn't give a shit. Once
Bye.
those are the important activities. When they're done, they're fucking done, dude.
She said this about Tom, which I actually was like, girl, I know you're telling the truth because Tom told me this. She said, before I met Victoria, though, I should have seen the way Tom is because I remember some really insulting things. Like minutes after we had sex, one day he said to me, my next girlfriend has to be more famous than me. I can't have anybody writing my cocktails as I'm still sitting there naked, not famous. That's what like, could you imagine? Like, you just get in having sex with a guy. You're clearly not famous. And he's like, yeah, my next girlfriend has to be more famous than me.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying, I want someone with clout. I want a model.
He was all about a model.
That's
why he'll
specific about that.
Because him and T got along really well. And I was like, you know, like they were just having a good time. And I was like, I love T for you. Like, you know, I wanted y'all to work out. And he's like, I really want a model. I'm like, first of all, T's dropped that gorgeous. What do you mean? He's like taller, like a tall model.
I know. If I look long, but I'm like 5'2".
You're so your pocket size.
I'm literally
You're
tiny,
tiny.
but like you're gonna risk all that for something superficial like height. I was like, wow, he doesn't value me as a genuine person and a genuine relationship, so he's gonna get someone completely opposite of me, which seems pretty opposite spectrum at this point.
And I know this is true too because he's definitely told me this several times. He's like, she said the first night we hooked up, he said to me, you're totally my type. I like girls who look like a little boy or look a little bit like a boy, who look a little bit like a boy, not a little boy, like a boy. Because my hair was up. Again, just rude. He does, like, I remember like him being like, even when Ariana would cut her hair short, he'd be like, he just likes that, like, almost like a lesbian look, but it's
Tom likes men.
I don't know. I'm not gonna out it.
Tom likes feminine men.
I'm not gonna out anyone.
Like manly woman equals feminine men.
Yeah.
We figured out what he's hiding, dude.
Kyle's onto something.
Kyle was onto something. Fuck.
Kyle starts wearing lipstick.
Not Kyle's fault. I'm telling you.
Delete the podcast. Kyle was low key right, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was right the whole time.
No, I literally like. As an LGBTQ person, I would never out someone, so I'm not going there.
Also, on Pride Month, for him to be saying that shit, shut the fuck up.
I know.
It's Pride Month. It's the 1 month to be quiet. Say it in fucking August, bro.
Literally.
Say it in August.
Yeah, no, it was awful. Let me just see something here. She said...
while Billy's searching, go order Flint Mints with code BATK for something % off.
Yeah, I need a Flint Mint. Can we get that going?
Yep. T, didn't you order these?
I ordered every flavor. It was
Okay,
great.
what's your
I gave
favorite
them to
flavor?
my roommate. Strawberry.
Okay.
It was
I'm
good.
addicted to cherry.
Strawberry's strong.
Sour tangerine. Strawberry's really strong.
Strawberry's strong.
I have the strawberry in my purse. Those
That
are like
one's
my
good.
smoking mints when I'm like smoking
Yes,
at the
when
store
you
late
need
at
it.
night and
Yes.
I'm out of water. I like to have that and it saves me.
Yep. I gave one to my sister, to my roommate. I was like, hey guys, I have this school mint for you.
People were addicted. I gave them out on set, and everybody's like, what? And I was like giving out our code. I'm like, order them.
Use code PATK at checkout.
Yeah. But she says this. She's like, I'm actually surprised I didn't meet you at the time. I was at Tom's every other day, but he did talk about you so much and said the nicest things about you and your friendship. So it makes me upset to see him go back at you like this.
Right.
And like that really, like, I literally hearted it because I'm like, that, everyone knows how good I was to him. Like,
that's why this is the craziest thing. That's why.
It's the craziest thing, and it's what hurts so bad. But,
I think the craziest thing is that he likes girls that look like little boys.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna.
And that you did karaoke.
Can I play a recording? She left me a voice recorder. The thing is, like, she's like, I'm scared of them. She's like, I'm really scared that she was supposed to be on the podcast today. She's like, I'm scared they're gonna come for me. She's like, you can talk about it, but just don't mention my name.
Let's put her in a mask.
I know, so fucked up. And she's like, my mom is like scared too. And my mom doesn't want me to do it. And like, I want to respect her. I would never force someone to come on here and put that out there.
Yeah, you can't scare them all.
So we might have to like dub this and make the voice sound different because I don't want.
Because I met Tom in November, like early November, I think, and I was hanging out with him for a little while, and I met Victoria. I want to say it had to be like the first week of December. He introduced me to her, so that was like when they started hanging out. And I don't know, she would always say like, I've never seen the show, but like I remember like the night I was like trying to convince her like, oh, you should give Tom a chance, he really likes you. Like I remember like bringing up Ariana and Raquel and like telling her basically not to like worry about it, but it just kind of like seemed like she already knew all the information I was telling her. Like she didn't really like ask questions to fill in blanks. So like that's why I think she was kind of lying about not seeing the show, or at least like not knowing the situation.
She's clearly lying.
Everyone knows.
When we were talking about it that night, but she's like, I don't know, I just don't trust her. I really don't.
That makes everyone.
It's also crazy too, like, and I didn't want to say this because like I said, I was kind of also on drugs sometimes.
That's real as fuck.
It's
That's
LA.
real, dude.
Hanging out with them, so like I don't really want to trust my memory too much on certain things, but like for some reason when I saw on that podcast that she mentioned like you saying something about Kyle drugging Tom, like, I don't know, it was just like deja vu. Like, I feel like I had heard somebody tell me that rumor before, and like the only person that it could have been would be Victoria. Like, I low-key feel like back in December, because I had met Kyle a few times with Tom too, and so I know Victoria had to have met Kyle at that point. So like, I don't know, I don't want to trust my memory, but like when that was brought up, I like low-key was like, I heard this rumor before, like it didn't seem like new to me, so like.
And she had never met you.
Yeah.
Maybe she did say that to me before.
You're right, Tish. If she never met Billie,
She'd never met Billie, but she had heard it before. So
We
use
know
common
she's a liar.
sense, people.
Yeah.
Please.
It's like, I kind of feel sorry for Kyle's stupid ass for going into this with her. Like, you just dug yourself.
Truly, he's a good friend. He should have stayed out of it.
Yeah. Like, I just. Whoa. Okay, so I wanted to just put that out there. Hopefully we can dub her voice.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah, thanks, Abby.
Thanks, Abby.
Go, Abby.
Thank you, Abby.
Yeah. And then let's see here. I'm just trying to look through.
I also love that Kyle said, you know, if Billie wants to do this for entertainment value based on like you making lives, you're getting your entertainment value. Bitch, you're filming it like faded sitting in your car in the driveway. You're like not doing it for entertainment value.
Literally, I look like shit 90%
You're not going
of the
on
time.
a huge platform. Like,
No,
Yeah.
she's literally doing an Instagram live, like sitting in her parked car at 11 p.m. It's like, what do you mean for entertainment value? Like, people said something, so she's clapping back. If someone says something about you, you have the right to like defend yourself. It's not for entertainment value. Like, she's not like sitting in front of like, this is entertainment value. We're in a fucking studio.
And if I'm going to say anything, it's going to be on my own fucking terms and my own platform. So I like have the time and space to do it. I'm not just going to jump on someone else's live.
And you control your own narrative with it.
Yes.
It's not someone else putting the words in your mouth. This is you saying like, I'm empowered and can say what I want about it.
And the entire time like the scandal happened, like I was bombarded by paparazzi. I never said anything. I like never went to the press. I literally just keep my mouth shut. And I remember when production started back up, I said, guys, I don't talk to the press. If I'm going to film, I want to clear my name. Like that was my intention going back to film this season, was to clear my name. Even though they edited it where it looked like I was madly in love with Tom, which was the opposite. And what killed me with that scene was the producers and Tom were secretly talking. And I was like, what's going on? When I came back from like the locker room and Tom was laughing. He's like, nothing. And I was like, what? And he's like, they all think that we slept together. And I'm like, what? I'm like, the whole point of me doing this and filming was to clear my name because we don't sleep together.
And to be a friend for him. Like, I remember you also telling me, you were like, he literally has no one, like not even his dad or something. Like he has like no people that like want to be on his side and he was in a dark place. So you're like, yeah, guess what? Even if it might hurt my image, whatever they do with it, you wanted to show like not only off camera, on camera, you did not want to go back. You only were like, I'll go back just to be a good friend.
Yeah.
Like just to be like someone is actually there for him. It's in real life and it's on TV, like showing like the real life element of like you were really actually truly there for him to be a good friend no matter what it came with.
Mm-hmm.
You were there to be a good friend.
Right.
Yeah, that was my intention. It was to literally show up for him, but also clear my name because most of the allegations were we were sleeping together.
Right.
But whenever production like said that and like him and Tom were laughing and had a conversation behind my back, and then later I see the edits of me like, of course I'm looking like shocked and looking up and down because he's like in a fucking cold bath. I don't know how you react to a cold bath. Am I supposed to take a nap? But like people were like, oh, Bille's so in love. Like the way that I was looking. Like, first of all, I see Tom's naked body or his fucking body all the time.
Yeah, he's halftime on FaceTime. He's like always naked. I'm just like,
he will literally call me while he's in the shower. Like he's like my brother. I don't fucking look at his body like, ooh, like Tom is not even my type. Like I don't.
was literally just gonna say it's not Bille's type. Aesthetically, Bille loves a dad bod. Bille loves a little chunk, a little beer belly, a little grease, a fucking chunky American man, dude. That's what Bille likes. You don't like chiseled.
Like I don't.
Chiseled's not your vibe.
So anytime you caught me looking at him like that, like no, I've seen the dude every day.
There are just better people to sleep with, and I think you know that. Everyone knows that.
Yes.
It's not. Truly, he's not like Pete Davidson, you know, where you're like, whoa, I wonder what's
yeah,
which I still wonder daily.
Yeah. I also just want to like, and again, not trying to throw him under the bus. I talked to him for an hour on the phone yesterday. I love Josh. Like,
you've never said anything bad about him ever.
He's just the sweetest. Like, we literally like were tearing up yesterday talking on the phone because like I don't want to lose some of these people through this experience. Yeah. And literally as I'm talking to him for an hour on the phone, it was like 48 minutes. Victoria's calling him and he's like, I'm gonna not answer that. Like,
how does she always know when you're on the phone with someone connected to his life, dude?
And
she doesn't. She just calls everyone constantly.
She does. She's constantly calling.
She doesn't know.
She's constantly. She's manic. She's manic. But and so he said, he's like, I just shut down when they say this, Bille. He's like, they talk this shit about you, and he's like, I just shut down because like I don't. He's like, I love you. He's like, I know who you are. But like he literally after our episode went live that same day, he saw it, and that night it was 10:40 p.m. He left me a voicemail. I was like, hey Bille, I'm alone in the car, and I hope that you don't think I'm upset with you in any way, shape, or form. I love you so much. You have always been a really good friend to me, and I just want to say I really appreciate you. Like, and he even said, he's like, I don't want to be involved. Please don't bring me into this. But guess what? I have to when it comes to the intervention because he was a huge part of it.
Right.
And also, he knows me just like you both know me. I am not the person to create these lies and to try to divide someone and to try to isolate someone.
Right.
And if I was this evil person spreading these rumors about Kyle assaulting people, why would Tom's cousin and assistant send me this love after seeing?
And how would Abby know after never meeting you? The same
right.
Literally. Thing.
Right. Put the puzzle pieces together.
It's
truly.
like,
also, you've never ever said anything. It's recorded. Like, you've never said anything mean about Josh. So
you're just saying the receipts. You're just showing the receipts, which is what the other party could not do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately involved him.
Yeah. And when it goes to
receipts,
I do.
Should we
do it?
Bille, you made us. This is what she said or something. It was like,
you put the nail. Here it is. Here it is.
No, it's like, if you want to play this game with the receipts, let's play the game. It's like, yeah, I'm literally looking at Bille's phone. Abby said some shit, dude. You've got some receipts.
Yeah.
In there.
Well, she like clearly lost on the receipt game because she didn't have any receipts
for anything.
But
so bad.
I do have a receipt of Tom being like, hey, Victoria broke up with me again, and then immediately was like, oh, never mind, laugh out loud. I'm showing that receipt because they broke up all the time. And like,
never mind, like that lightly, like, yep, let's move on, never mind. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
And the fact that like when this whole thing happened in New York, so she also said this on the live. She said, yeah, well, we waited for Bille to unfollow us and then we were going to unfollow her.
Yes.
Okay, that's a bold lie because I unfollowed them weeks before the New York thing.
Way before. I was on a hike with her. Way before.
I unfollowed all of them. She she didn't unfollow me until after the news came out that I apparently unfollowed them in New York. People were like, "Oh, something went down in New York with Billie." No, I haven't followed them way before. That bitch was still following me, still creeping on my stuff. And then when it was public that I wasn't following them, literally probably 3 or 4 weeks later, she decided that she was going to unfollow me.
And then she never answered the question as to why they unfollowed each other. She skipped over that completely, and then Adam forgot about it. Like, half of the things was just forgot about.
Yeah, well, the emotional maturity level is hysterical, and so every time they do fight, they block each other and they like unfollow each other. It's like children.
I did that on Facebook in middle school.
Yeah, literally the whole thing is middle school 101.
I Facebook blocked him. Don't worry.
Yeah. And then I wanted to also just talk about, there's so much, but we're almost wrapping this up, you guys. We're like almost at the end of this chaotic shit. I do have a screenshot, another receipt where Victoria,
Billie and the kid.
On my birthday that night, when they got into the huge fight, she texts me and she's like,
You have so many screenshots. Just so people know what I'm looking at right now, Billie's camera roll is literally all these insane screenshots.
Oh, I was on set for 12-hour days.
No, they're all receipts. It's just crazy. I'm like looking at her scroll through. It's like all these.
Yeah, I was on set for 12-hour days, so I was like, some of these I have to be very. Look, again, I'm not trying to cause crazy harm. I'm not trying to out somebody.
You're just trying to back up the allegations
I'm just trying to
made
back up
against you.
and paint a picture of like what I'm telling you.
Bitch, you didn't say anything until someone said something first. That's real. You said nothing until something. You kept your mouth. Billie kept her mouth shut for like 6 or 8 weeks when she had all the power and the receipts in her hands ready to say things. You said nothing until they said something first. Also, it's like, you're trying to stay relevant. It's like, you're on tour, bitch. You already are relevant. Like, you know, it's like, you don't need to do that to stay relevant. If you wanted to be relevant, you would have said it 6 weeks ago when it happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah, so, okay, here it is. Let's see.
There's so many receipts. She's
There's
like, which
so
one is it?
many
Like,
fucking receipts. I'm like,
many
where?
Screenshots, and then like a hot selfie. It's like hot selfie, receipt, hot selfie.
Because I was on set.
My
I was
skin
on
is
set.
glowing.
Literally,
Receipt.
it's like glowing skin, perfect jawline. Love the way my nose looks here. Receipt. Ass pic. Receipt.
I'm trying to find receipts from Victoria because she, on my birthday, like literally on my birthday, texts me and involves me in another fucking fight. And I'm like, dude, like, why are you involving me? Like, always involving me in fights. And on my birthday, like, give me a fucking day off.
Right. Like, Billie, does she know how to like do things like independently? She needed her friend Kyle for the live. Like, maybe she just like needs always another person.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, I still don't understand why Kyle's here.
If it's a heavily emotional thing, but maybe that's just how she is, though. Like, we don't know her that well. Like, maybe I don't know her at all. I've never met this girl. Maybe if it's like a heavy emotional thing, she like needs someone there with her. Maybe that's just how she is, though.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Like, she can't like. It seems from what I've seen on the outside that like, it's too much for her to do these things alone.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a fight, she needs someone else to be on her side or blah blah blah. blah. The live, she needed someone with her because she couldn't handle it on her own.
She would literally call me and like during the day, slurring her words, being like, I gotta talk to you about Tom, I'm done. Like, she would always say she was done. She'd always have some crazy excuse, even like, he's not A-list enough. Like, I mean, crazy shit she would tell me. And then the next day, it was as if she didn't remember. Like, I don't know if that's something, if you're on pills or if you're manic, maybe it's a sleeping pill during the day. I don't know, but she would say all this stuff and do all this stuff and then not remember.
Right.
So, you know, obviously they fought on my birthday. Right. So that night, it was the 23rd at 1:13 in the morning. So it was still that night, but in the morning. 1:13 in the morning, she says, babe, are you awake? Please tell Tom to stop blowing up my close friend's phone. Not okay. I'm done. This is too much. Sending literal essays to her. It's inappropriate. We are trying to sleep. I'm like, why? And so at 7:07 in the morning, oh no, I was passed out. I'm sorry. I hope you got sleep, babe. And he's calmed down. Love you. And then at 11 o'clock, is he home now? I may go pick up my car. And that's one thing, as I realized too, is every time they got in a fight, she would reach out to me as if like, are you with him? What is he doing? Like,
checking.
You know, like and when she like stormed in the house that day when she showed up, it's like she hated the fact that he would be with me.
Right.
He runs
She-
to you for emotional
literally.
support.
Right.
And one time she was like, I need to come get my pills. And they got into a
I
fight.
don't think she took them.
Yeah, she needed her pills, and I was like, okay. I was like, do you want me to put them in the mailbox? She's like, no, and I was like, well, how are you gonna get in? Because she didn't have a key, and she's like, I don't know, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna leave the door unlocked because that's just dangerous. Yeah. And she's like, well, don't leave them in the mailbox. I'm like, well, what would you like me to do? I'm not gonna be there.
Right.
And the whole point of this conversation was for me to give her the key. Like, why on earth would I give you a key when you're literally fighting with him? And like, it just was weird. And like, it was just always shit like that. And I think she also didn't like the fact that I had a key, but like, I've had a key for years.
Yeah,
That's smart he didn't
like-
give her a key, though, because I had a key for a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
And we hid the key together, and we're like, Tom, it's over here. Like, so at least he's a little coherent.
Well, she's cuckoo.
She
I don't know.
doesn't.
She probably does now, obviously. But like, ooh.
Yikes.
And then I'll just say this too, and I have this screenshot when it comes to like her including me in their fights on my birthday. Like,
Happy birthday.
with the whole Ariana stuff, like she literally wanted the house, and she was staying a lot. I don't know why they weren't staying at her house, but 90% of the time they were staying at his house. And she started like moving things around, cleaning things. She started going through Ariana's plants. She wanted them all replanted. Somehow, some way, my plants got up to the master bathroom. And then I remember when I went to go get the last bit of my stuff, Josh was like, yeah, we got movers to get Ariana's stuff out of here. And you know, Tom was like not about that master bedroom.
No.
Like, he literally was like, I don't care. He didn't give two shits. He took both of the guest bedrooms towards that way.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't.
All his stuff, is on that one side of the
Yeah.
house. Mhm.
And like, I understand you would, if you're going to be in the house and she's not there, but like, you have to wait until she comes and gets it. Like, you
Right,
cannot just
right.
move her stuff.
I know.
Like,
and she had a lot of stuff too. She had so many boxes.
So
much
many
clothes.
boxes.
Also,
So
she's
many
like, why would
boxes.
I want to sleep in their bed? You realize he fucked more people in the guest bedroom bed than he did in the master bedroom?
Yeah, that's
Does she
actually
realize
very
that the
true.
bed she's sleeping in, from Raquel to every other bitch, has been in that bed? I'd rather
Yeah.
sleep in the master bed. There was only one bitch in that bed.
Yeah,
Like, what?
that's
Smart.
very true.
Like, girl.
Okay, so that's pretty much everything on my list. I think we covered everything when it comes to the live, right?
No.
No. Okay. What else?
Should we tell them?
Yeah. Should we?
Sorry. That's
we do
just
it?
so funny to me.
Should I powder?
It's like teasing
Okay.
something that's never gonna drop.
Yes. No. Okay. One thing is the baby thing that really,
Oh my
really
God, we
upset
never
me.
talked
we
about
didn't
the
talk
baby.
about
No,
the
that
baby.
really upset me because this whole baby thing, let me just clarify. This happened over maybe 2 months. This was a span, Billie and Tom. Billie first told me, oh, like, I want him as a sperm donor, blah, 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 which he already knew. And they had conversations about this. This was while I was with Tom. All of these things, he called me right after he had the convo, after you guys decided, let's not do this. This is not the best thing. Pretty much mutually, right? He called me right after that. He's like, I just had the chat with Billie. It went well. We're on the same page. And then Billie had told me the same thing. Literally the same story. And that was the end of that. That was in September. That was the end of the baby conversation. For a little bit, it was very like, should I do this? And then he started really thinking, okay, if I'm a dad or I donate, then I have to be responsible for this. Then it started getting more serious. And then it came to the closing conversation. She on the live made it seem like she was the one who, Billie just brought this up and he was out of the blue. The way she brought it up was as if she was there when this conversation went down. This was solved. This was solved before he even knew her name.
Yeah.
This was all done, and I think that is so disrespectful. She took Billie's personal information. Obviously, you don't have sperm of your own or egg of your own. That is so personal, obviously. To bring something like that up randomly when she wasn't even involved.
And
She
I chose
wasn't
not
a part of it.
And I literally chose not to ever talk about that publicly. And
it was on the low. It was super low.
I never even brought it up here.
You have a platform here to say what the fuck you want. You never said anything about it.
And you know how everyone knows how much I want to have a baby. And so let me just start here. When Tom and Ariana were together, we're family. We would spend the holidays together. Ariana had her eggs frozen. She's like, Billie, if you want me to help you have a baby, I will. Tom said the same thing. Like, I'll help you have a baby. When they were together, they were like, if you want to have a baby, like, we don't want to have a baby. At the time, Ariana didn't want to have children.
Right.
She's like, if you want to have a baby, like, I would help you. That's what family does. And when you can't have a kid by yourself, you like kind of reach out to your family first.
Family and very close friends.
Yes. That's where you go
People
first. People you trust. And then whenever Tom and I were isolated and literally like the first couple months of like us just being stuck together because I lost all my friends. The paparazzi were outside constantly following us. I remember us having a conversation. He's like, Billie, I don't think I'm gonna have kids anytime soon. He's like, I want to continue being a rock star. I don't see myself dating anytime soon. He's like, so I would help you have a baby. Like, I'm down. And one of my big things was like, maybe financially, like I could have a little help. It's so expensive having a baby, even just making a baby. It's so expensive.
Right.
I'm like, maybe financially I could get some help from him. And that's where like there might've been some confusion because maybe Tom just wanted to give his sperm and not ever help.
Yeah.
But
I
also
think he did.
Yeah. And so I'm like, and we talked about that. Like it takes getting on the same page about something because obviously having a child together is not just a simple little transaction.
Right. I would hear that from him. He's like, oh, no, but I just want to donate my sperm and I don't want to be like a dad.
Yeah.
But then subconsciously he was like, would I think like, oh, that's my kid. Like,
literally. And like,
Tom
how
right
can
there.
you give sperm and be around me all the time and not think that like there's going to be a conversation about you being the dad? Like,
so he started thinking about that towards the end. He was like, wait, if she lived in a different state, maybe because I wouldn't see this kid, but like, what if it looks like me? What if it, you know?
And it's a lot to think about. Like, I literally 100% agree. And also when he started drinking and there was like drugs everywhere, I'm like, I would never have a baby in this house. Like you can't, Ariana couldn't even have her dog in the house because the dog was eating and getting into stuff that was hospitalizing the dog. Yeah. So I would never, like we both came to the conclusion that this is not going to happen. I never went around town and went public about it. I never went. I told my close friends.
Billie, you have a podcast. If you wanted to say it, you would have. You literally have a fucking podcast.
Yes.
If you wanted to say it, it would have been said here.
And she's like, well, you at Karamo Brown's. So let me just, not to throw Karamo in this because I love him. He's like one of my favorite human beings. They threw it in. But Karamo had an event for his partner. It was an amazing event. And Tom and I both know Karamo. So we decided to go to this event. We're tipsy. We're all drinking. We're having a bomb-ass time. We're sitting next to a fire. We end up getting to this subject because Karamo has kids. I love Karamo's son. He's so cool. And so like we were talking about having babies or whatever. And he's like, Billie, I'll help you. Like, I'll give you my sperm. And I was like, we were literally like, I want a baby. Like, let's do it, you know? And I was like, Tom is willing to help me too. Like, it was just like a nonchalant thing. It wasn't like, Tom and I are having a baby and it's going to be Sandoval. And it's like, I never had that conversation.
Paperwork to change the last name like the fake kid that doesn't exist. It's it's a drunk conversation, which you're allowed to have. You shouldn't have to feel guarded when it's a lighthearted conversation, just expressing this is something I want. It's not like you're like, this is what's definitively happening. Like,
Yes. And after that night, Tom and I end up having a hard conversation about it and was like, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. Well, if I was to do this, I would want this. Like, you know, there was a conversation that needed to happen.
Right.
And I'm so happy. And obviously it all worked out for a reason. I'm no longer connected to that. Thank God I would never have a kid that was connected to that situation.
And that was long done before he met Victoria.
Literally before. So for her to bring that up.
She made up that whole story of, when Tom talked to me, that's why she was stuttering so much because it wasn't true. Yeah. It was. She's like, what they tell me next? How does the story go again? Kyle, help.
Yeah, it was insane. Poor Kyle.
That's when I logged into my YouTube and I said, oh, hell no, she did not go there.
Yeah, because you were there the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, this, I know 100,000% is a flat out lie.
Yeah.
You were not involved. You guys did not even meet yet. It was done.
Yeah.
No.
Her whole mission was to paint me into looking like this awful human being. And it's just like, girl, you have to create lies to do that. Like, you don't even have receipts or proof. And
Should we show the receipts?
yeah,
Should we do it? Should we?
And it's just so obvious that she's on something. And I think at the end of the day, I hope she gets help, because I don't want to see something awful or, you know, this end in a way where someone ends up being injured or hurt.
Right.
And I know one of the first conversations I did have with her was she wanted to possibly look into getting a sober house or like a detox place. It's not necessarily a rehab, but it's like a detox. And I hope that she continues that conversation and that she does get help, because addiction is a very serious thing. And at the end of the day, I don't want them to have any type of physical harm, even if they are lying and creating all this bullshit for me.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep.
10 minutes? 10 minutes?
And that's the end of that. Like, this shouldn't be more shots fired. This also, I'm from the normal world, not the reality world.
Yeah.
This is not how people fight. Usually you have a conversation. The fact that the public needs to be brought into all of this. And like, I felt the need to come here because it's not right. Not because I want any sort of like attention, but it is not right to hear these lies. And that's why I'm here. But I don't want to be involved in this. I'm private on Instagram because I don't want anyone else following me about this. This is not how normal people do things. So this just needs to be the end of we cleared it. We have the receipts. I spit facts. I would never lie for you. I wouldn't lie for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's to save a life. Like, I would not do that.
You've been one of my realest friends. And
it's true. Anyone who talks to me is like, whoa, like, she's not from LA. No, I'm not. I'm from an island.
Hawaii doesn't
I
play.
don't do this.
Hawaii don't play.
No,
Hawaii
this is
bitches
ridiculous.
are not like LA bitches.
Yeah.
Yes, I moved here and I was like, what the fuck is everyone on? Like, seriously. So this is just to clear the air. This is no more shots fired. This is facts, and I have to support my friend because I know these things are 100%. And that's why I'm here. If I didn't feel like they were, I wouldn't be here, Billie.
Yeah. No, and you literally called me and was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're lying.
No,
like,
I was
what
like,
do
are
you
you
need from
okay?
me? Yeah.
Literally.
And I appreciate every person. And like, there were so many amazing, like, people that I don't even know. Like, I've been DMing and trying to respond to people and messaging people and commenting, because literally people have come out of the woodworks being like, I believe you.
Right.
Like, we're here to support you. I'm so sorry you're going through this. And like, that means the world to me. And obviously I've said this on my Instagram, like, I've not always showed up for people in the past, like, especially when I was filming the first 2 seasons of Vanderpump. I was going through a really hard time. Vanderpump, I think, paid me like the smallest little chump change, and I was struggling to buy clothes and pay my bills. And it just was a really hard time for me. And also just discovering, like, you know, you're putting yourself out there, and my trans experience in that way, it was just a lot. So I'm trying to do better showing up.
Ooh, so cute. I haven't seen this, Billie.
Me too.
I know. It just came in the mail yesterday.
I know.
Wait.
Billie wrote a book.
You showed me the font, but I love it. Oh my God. Show everybody.
I know.
Give me 5 minutes. I'm reading.
Oh my gosh.
How cute is it?
I could see myself in a cafe, like, don't bother me. Look at this cute ass book.
I know what's crazy, dude? I can't even read, and I like this book. This is crazy, dude.
No, they make it very like
kid friendly.
Kid friendly.
It's so cute.
But you know, it's a lot of
Nice.
people sharing their stories
Colors.
about
Yeah.
microaggressions, and
Oh my God.
it just reminded me, like,
Jacob.
yes, Jacob's.
I
in there.
love Jacob. Addicted.
Yeah, you call them Jason.
Jason.
But yeah, I just want to also say, like, a lot is happening in June. It's Pride Month. I'm going on tour. I'm literally leaving tomorrow
BigHappyTour.com.
to finish my tour. And then also my book is available for pre-order. This all was happening and planned
This has been
years in advance.
Yes.
Billie, the
Like,
book has been
for a
going
long
on for 2
time.
years. You're not
This
doing
is-
this for.
Yes. I didn't rush and hurry up and write this book in 2 seconds
No.
to put it out there. Like,
Favorite quote of the book on top of page 114, quote, "You look Jewish."
yeah, it's about a microaggression about, obviously.
That's funny.
wow,
let me
it's
see.
here. I'm so proud of you, Billie. This is crazy.
I know.
Billie
This is-
wrote a
I've heard this
book.
for like
Yeah,
2
yeah.
years now. Ah! I get to touch it.
Yeah.
Billie, we should print out a picture of it for the wall.
Oh
I
my
know,
God.
we
To
should.
go
up here.
Yeah,
This
that
is
would
so
be really
cute.
cute.
Let's add a picture of it. We can.
Yeah, the blue would be
Guys.
so cute.
Hi guys, please get Billy's book.
Yeah, you can
Should we tell
pre-order.
them? Should we tell them?
Should we?
Should we tell them? Guys, it's here.
Yeah, it's here. You can pre-order it. Officially comes out in September. And then I'll be doing an entire Why Are You So Sensitive comedy tour / book signing tour and a speaking engagement tour.
Yes, this is like the rich girl pages. This is glossy.
No, it's...
I wish they could touch this. This is the pages that I'm like,
Really nice
I'm
texture.
reading. I'm
Really nice
reading.
texture.
Leave
Yeah,
me
yeah,
alone.
But thank you so much for both of you showing up today and
Love you.
supporting me because it has
Yes.
been a very challenging
Love you.
week. I love you.
Love you, Billy.
And thank you all for watching this episode. If you want to support us, please order some mints and suck all the dick you want. It's amazing.
Not Tom's dick.
Not Tom's dick, no.
Spread the aloha. Spread the
Yeah,
love.
spread the aloha.
Spread the aloha. A perfect callback
Spread
to
it.
the first episode from. Wait, when did we have tea on?
A while ago.
A while
while
ago,
ago.
yeah.
No, but there was like a Hawaiian storyline. We're gonna take out that I said that. That
No.
doesn't matter.
Can we just say, can I congratulate one of my best friends for being on Sunset Boulevard?
Thank you. I love you. I was crying.
She
really
was
hard.
like literally all over Laugh Factory.
I was crying really hard. It was really crazy.
Yeah, it was really
really
cute.
crazy.
I have a love hate with Laugh Factory,
know.
but I love
Yes.
her,
That's why
Yeah.
it's
and
hard.
I know
But we support
it's-
you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
support you.
Yeah. No, it's hard.
And you
because
deserve to
Love
be
you.
all over
Mhm.
fucking Sunset Boulevard. You
Aw.
work
Billy
so
believes
hard.
in me as much as my parents do, which is like a big statement.
Yes.
And it means
Yeah.
the world. You know, comedy's the only thing that I care. Comedy's the only thing that makes me cry. Ironically, it's the
Yeah.
only thing I take seriously and the only thing that makes me emotional. So when the big things happen, even if it's like stuff that's like sensitive for you, it means the world that you're still like supportive about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
know?
of
Like,
course.
'cause it means love you. You know,
I love
it
you.
means the world.
And thank you all for watching this and supporting us and for believing me, because at the end of the day, all we have is our truth. So thank you.
that was deep, dude. That was fucking.